Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and we are so excited to have you back with us this week. We have heard from so many of you from our first session. We love the feedback. We encourage you to keep it coming, keep asking your questions. Let us know what's on your mind as we go through each of these sessions. And tonight we're excited to welcome you back to the Compliance Sprint. This is session 2. Last Tuesday, we covered the paper trail, your employment contracts, probation, and the records the Employment Act requires you to maintain. If you missed any of that, the replay is in the chat. Today, our focus is on NIB. Your NIB obligations as Bahamian employers are specific. They are recurring, and they directly affect your people. We're going through the rates, the insurable wage ceiling, and how to calculate what you owe and the filing deadlines every Bahamian-based business needs to have locked in. This is the session most business owners tell me they needed years ago. If you've downloaded the Compliance Handbook, open it now because we're in Section 2, NIB Contributions, starting on page 5. Grab it from the link in the chat if you haven't done so already. NIB, the National Insurance Board, runs the National Insurance Scheme here in the Bahamas. As an employer, you're required by law to register your business with NIB and to register every eligible employee within 7 days of their start date. Full-time employees, part-time employees earning within the insurable wage band all must be covered. There is no grace period, ladies and gentlemen. No length of service threshold that lets you wait. If someone is on your payroll and earning above the minimum insurable earnings, they need to be registered with NIB, and they need a valid national insurance number before you can remit contributions on their behalf. The Compliance Handbook covers the registration process in Section 2. The process is simple. Register within 7 days. Not when it's convenient for you, not when your CFO runs the report, not when your HR clerk gets to it, right away. Now the rates. Write these down. NIB contributions are split between you as the employer and your employee. You deduct the employee share from their wages and remit both portions to NIB together. The Bahamas has no personal income tax. NIB is the primary statutory payroll deduction. The current confirmed rates are employer contribution, that's yours, 6.65% of the insurable wage. Employee contribution, 4.65% of the insurable wage. The total is 11.3%. That's 11.3 cents out of every insurable dollar. Your share, 6.65%, is the larger half. One important note, NIB rates are set by regulation and can be updated. Always confirm the current rates directly with NIB before you run payroll. As an example, on July 1st, 2026, there were new rates implemented for the insurable wage. You want to ensure that you're always on track before you run any payroll. Don't assume the rates are unchanged from a period without checking. Now, I know this part of it can seem daunting, it can seem confusing, it can seem overwhelming, but these are the parts that you have to get right. Otherwise, you run the risk of being non-compliant with NIB and costing your organization and your employees at the same time. So, the insurable wage ceiling is the maximum amount of an employee's wages on which NIB contributions are calculated. Right now, that's $830 per week or $3,597 per month. Two common errors we commonly see is 1, calculating NIB on the full salary above the ceiling and overpaying, and 2, getting the ceiling wrong in the other direction and underpaying. Both are problematic. The full calculation guidance is in Section 2 of the Compliance Handbook. Look at it before your next payroll run to ensure that you are compliant with both NIB and your organization. Getting the numbers right is half of it. Filing on time is the other half. The C10 is the form you submit to NIB after every pay period, not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient. It records your gross wages, insurable earnings, and both employer and employee contributions for every single employee. Accurate, on-time C10 submissions are one of the most important payroll compliance obligations you can have. Filing deadlines depends on your pay frequency. If you run weekly or bi-weekly payroll, your C10 is due within 7 days after the end of each pay period. If you run monthly payroll, your C10 is due by the end of the following month. Missing those deadlines has real and costly consequences. Late C10 submissions attract penalty interest on outstanding contributions. Consistent late filings can trigger an NIB audit, and nobody wants NIB around a place. And your employees depend on timely filings to access their sickness, benefits, maternity benefits, and pension. If your contributions show as unremitted, that affects them directly, even after you've paid eventually. Your people count on you to file on time. Now, there are 4 mistakes I see Bahamian businesses make with NIB. All of them, every single one of them, are avoidable. The first one is not registering new employees with NIB within 7 days of their start date. That's the legal deadline. Not after probation, not after 3 months, within 7 days. The second is calculating NIB on the wrong base, either ignoring the wage ceiling or applying it wrong altogether. The third is missing C10 deadlines and treating it as a minor issue. It isn't. Late filings compound, y'all, and it costs a lot. 4, keeping payroll records that don't reconcile with what was filed. If NIB audits your filings, your records have to match. If they don't, that's a problem you do not want. These aren't complicated failures, though. They're process gaps. A consistent payroll system and good record keeping prevent all 4. If you want to audit where your business stands right now, the HR audit self-assessment covers all of this. Payroll compliance, and it's one of the 5 categories that we use in our handbook. Use it before the next filing. The link for it is in the chat. Now, here's what I need you to take from today's session. Register every eligible employee with NIB within 7 days of their start date, y'all. Not when you get around to it, not when you finally get a moment for it, but 7 days after they start. The employer contribution rate is 6.65%. The employee's rate is 4.65% for a total of 11.3%. Confirm those rates with NIB before you run each payroll. The insurable wage ceiling is $8.30 per week or $35.97 per month. Calculate contributions on insurable wages only. File your C10 within 7 days of each pay period for weekly or biweekly payroll, or by the end of the following month for monthly payroll. The full calculation guidance and C10 overview are in sections 2 and 3 of the Compliance Handbook on pages 5 and 6. If you leave today with those numbers locked in and your filing calendar set, this session did its job. Now, what's coming up next week? Session 3 is next, July 29th, and from hire to exit, we're going to be covering the whole gamut, right, of the employee cycle. Work permits, leave entitlements, termination procedures, and severance under the Bahamian Employment Act. That session matters, especially if you've ever had a termination go all the way left. And if you're not confident in your ability to do so, we need you to be in that session next week. The replay goes out to all registered attendees, so please stay tuned for that in your inboxes. Have a good week, everyone. Take care.